Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you all are fine at home. Last week we have done first chapter of history of social studies. Today we are going to start geography, which is section 1 of social studies book. And for geography, chapter number 1 is our country in the world, our country Pakistan. So before starting this chapter, let us concentrate on the map that they have given to us. This is the map showing Europe, Asia and Africa. And all the green color here, it shows all the Islamic countries, and most of it is actually Asia. Asia is the largest continent of the world. There are 7 continents and Asia is being the largest one. And the very particular thing about Asia is that it has a lot of Islamic countries in it. So Pakistan is situated in almost the northwest of this Asian continent. Here it is, as you can see. Along with it is India, and here it's connected to China. Here we have Afghanistan with our border, and here it's Iran. So they all are our neighboring countries. You can see that along with Pakistan, there are so many Islamic countries here towards the west, and also towards north they are spreading. So the location of Pakistan is very important in the world, in this continent of Asia, and it is because it is a link between these Islamic countries, and it plays a very vital role, obviously. See here, it's Saudi Arabia. And as we all know that our last prophet, Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he was born in Saudi, and then Islam started spreading from this country, from this area towards the whole world. And you can see that is the reason why there are so many Islamic countries in Asia. It's because they all are surrounded by Saudi Arabia, and Islam started from here. Okay. As in history, if you remember, we read about Khyber Pass and the mountain passes from which invaders and conquerors used to come to this land, and this is how this whole part that was previously India, it got inhabited. And because there are so many rivers in this area, so because of the good vegetation and forest, they started living here. So here there is a complete mountainous region in the north area of Pakistan, from where it is connected to other Islamic countries such as this Tajikistan, Afghanistan, etc. And from its Balochistan border, which is also again a mountainous region, it is connected with Iran. And then there are so many other Islamic countries. So now let's come to the chapter. The map below shows the continents of Europe, Asia and Africa. Pakistan is strategically located as a link between the Islamic bloc to the west and north, and the South Asian countries to the east, to the west and north. So according to this compass, this is west, this is north, and the South Asian countries to the east, and towards this area we have all the South Asian countries. Also note the location of Saudi Arabia in relation to the Islamic countries around it. What does this explain about the spread of Islam? Obviously, because this Islam originated from Saudi Arabia, so it spread all over the world. So especially in this area, we find so many Islamic countries. Okay, let's concentrate on this map. And from this map here, it's very clear that this is the location of Pakistan. And from in its north area, from Jammu and Kashmir, it is attached with China. And here towards the east, it has a combined border with India. Then from Balochistan side, it is connected to Iran. And then from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, it has a large border with Afghanistan. It shares its border with Afghanistan. So 2 of these countries are Islamic countries. Here it's China, with which we are on very good relations, and here it's India. And our relations with India have always been very controversial because of the history that we share. Here I have another map of Pakistan, which is more clear than the previous one. You can easily see all the provinces of Pakistan. Here it's Balochistan, along with the border of Balochistan, it's Iran, and then it's Punjab here. Most of the border of India is actually connected with Punjab here, and you all must have been very familiar with Wagah border. We share same border there. Then from Sindh, this is Sindh, and here it is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, KPK. From here we are connected to, we share a very long border with Afghanistan, right? Starting right from here, see, it's a huge border, almost whole of Afghanistan's country, and we have a similar border, one side, from one side. Okay, so here it's KPK, and this is the FATA area. Here it's Gilgit-Baltistan. From Gilgit-Baltistan we are connected to China. Then here it's the Azad Jammu Kashmir, and here it's the disputed territory. There is a very small and thin line for Azad Jammu Kashmir here, and most of Kashmir, almost around 40% is disputed territory, and it has been occupied by India. And here it's the region of Kashmir that has been occupied by China. I hope our borders are properly clear on you now. Let's start with the chapter. This map shows the subcontinent and its neighboring countries. The subcontinent is largely shut off from the rest of Asia by deserts in the west and by Hindu Kush, the Karakoram and Himalaya mountains in the northwest and north. Pakistan is in the northwest of the subcontinent, as we have already discussed. All through history, very important travel routes to and from the rest of the Asia have passed to it because of the passes through the mountains. Because of those mountain passes, and as I've already told you, that these mountain passes are there in KPK, Khyber Pass, which is very famous pass, and it is there in KPK, and there we have a joint border with from Torkham side to Afghanistan, and then there is Bolan Pass in Balochistan. These are the mountain passes through which we have been connected to other countries. In the west, the Khyber and Bolan passes lead to Afghanistan and on to Iran, Central Asia, and even Europe. In the north, the high Khunjrab Pass, 4,700 meters, leads to China. So we have Khunjrab Pass here in north area, from which it's leading towards China. So mountain passes have already been very important in connecting our country to other neighboring countries. Okay, this map shows the South Asian countries in alphabetical order. So these countries are very important. We all have to learn their names. It's an alphabetical order. So starting from Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. So which countries are these? These are South Asian countries. These are South Asian countries. We all have to remember their names. Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Now on the third page, we have this relief map here. What is a relief map? A relief map is actually a map which shows all kinds of landforms in that area. So this is the relief map of subcontinent, and it includes almost all the countries of Asia. So what are these different colors and what do they represent? These different colors, as you see clearly from the key, it's mentioned here that land height and sea depth, right? So these colors show, these green colors show the grassy area, and this gradually it's rising as with the height the color changes, and these brown areas shows mountains, and then the top of the mountains. Then this blue color, light blue color, shows the sea level. It's like the shallow one, and then it goes on, and the darkest blue part shows the deepest part of the oceans or the seas. All right. So now here, this is the relief map of the subcontinent, and we can see that this brown area is all the mountainous region. This grassy or green color shows the land or the plains, and blue color obviously represents water. And then even in this blue color, there are many shades, which you can see from the key that which one of them is the deeper part and which one is a shallower one. Okay, let's coming to the text. This is a relief map of subcontinent. A relief map shows usually by means of different colors, the height of the land above sea level. It also shows rivers and lakes and other geographical features. You can see that the northern parts of the subcontinent are very high. Northern parts of the subcontinent are very high. This, we are talking about this. Up to almost 9,000 meters. Land below 3,300 meters is colored green, and this is usually the most fertile area because there is plenty of water for crops. Deserts are also colored green because they are usually below 300 meters in height, but they have brown dots to show that they are of no use for farming. So where are these? Here we have this desert area. You can see easily it is shown with the dots, and third desert, it is also labeled. Most of the water in the northern part of the subcontinent comes from the two great river systems, the Indus and the Ganges. The valley of the river Ganges is the most fertile part of India. The land is low-lying, and there is plenty of water for irrigation. This is where most of the India's agriculture takes place. So this is one of the most fertile land in India, and that's where the most of the agriculture takes place. It's the valley of river Ganges. The river Ganges enters the Bay of Bengal through a huge delta in which the rivers are changing their course all the time. Much of this delta is in Bangladesh. The low-lying countryside floods almost every year when storms hit the coast in the late summer, destroying crops and killing people and animals. You all must have been aware of the floods that come in Bangladesh all the time. So this is the reason why. Because it's situated near the Bay of Bengal, and the river Ganges, it has many tributaries which are entering there, and they keep on changing their courses, because of which the floods come all the time, and people of Bengal suffer from it. Here in this info box, sub is a Latin word meaning a smaller part or lesser. Why do you think the Indian subcontinent is called this? The Indian subcontinent is called, it's not called Indian continent, it's called Indian subcontinent. What is the reason behind it? The reason obviously is that because the continent on the whole is a huge mass of land, but as for India and Pakistan, though India is a big country and together they make they cover a huge area, but even then it is much smaller than a whole continent, and that is why we call it subcontinent. Let's come to question answers now. These are the short question answers, and as per our custom, after reading the chapter, we are supposed to solve some short question answers which you have to do on your loose sheets. And short question answers mean that you are not supposed to give a very big answer, and it shouldn't cross 2 to 3 lines. At the most, it should be of 3 lines. Why is Pakistan's location strategic? I told you in the start that because Pakistan is located it's a link. It is located at such a place that it works as a link between Islamic bloc to the west and north and the South Asian countries to the east. So at the same time, the Islamic countries and the South Asian countries are interlinked with each other because of Pakistan. That is why its location is very strategic. Why there are no Islamic countries in North and South America? Why there are no Islamic countries? The reason is very obvious, as I told you before, because Saudi Arabia is located in Asia, and all these Islamic countries, because it spread from Saudi to all these. So North America and South America were basically, according to, if we see the map of the world, it actually tells you that here it's Asia, right? Here it's Africa. Most of Islamic countries are actually located here in Asia and in Africa, not even in Europe. And because North America and South America are far away from this area and there is a big ocean in between, so at that time Islam spread most of it spread in these countries. It's because they were nearby and they had all the facilities to go on ground and spread and preach Islam. That is why. Third question is, write names of neighboring countries of Pakistan and their location. You all know very well about all the neighboring countries and their location. You have to specify that which countries in the north and the west, which country shares borders in the north with Pakistan, which is sharing in the east. So you have to mention all the location, right? The name of the country and the location that it has according to Pakistan. Now, in this names of South Asian countries, South Asian countries, I have just told you the names of South Asian countries. You can easily find them out and you have to just write the names. Why mountain passes are important? Why mountain passes are important? Because they are actually, from here in this paragraph, you can find out the answer. And actually because they play the role of a connection between two countries, and that is why they are very important for Pakistan and they are important for any country of the world. So we have a lot of mountain passes whose names are mentioned here. So you just have to describe it in 2 lines. Name 3 mountain passes in Pakistan and the countries they lead to. The answer to this question is here on page number 2 in this paragraph. You can easily find it out. So you just have to write the name of the mountain pass and the country to which it leads to. Okay. Then it's define relief map. Relief map we have already discussed here. The answer lies here in this paragraph. Name 2 main river systems of subcontinent. The 2 main river systems of subcontinent are Indus and Ganges. Where does India's most agriculture takes place and why? The answer is very clear again. Most of the agriculture of India takes place in the valley of river Ganges. And why? It's because it has plenty of water. It is very fertile. The land there is very fertile. That is why it's a very thickly populated area and most of the people are doing agriculture there. Describe the weather of Deccan Plateau. We haven't read this question. Why do you think the Indian subcontinent is called sub? So the answer is here. It's called sub because Pakistan and India make a smaller part of Asian continent. That is why it's called subcontinent of Indian subcontinent. All right. So these are the questions till page number 3. The Deccan is a plateau, highland above sea level. This is a fairly dry part of the subcontinent with about 1500 millimeter of rain a year. It is very warm and generally not very fertile for farming. So this is the reason why it is not very fertile area, because it has not much rain every year. Shown below is a relief map of Pakistan. You can see that parts of the north are very high indeed. This is the relief map of Pakistan. Previously, it was what we had observed. It was the relief map of subcontinent. Here, it's a relief map of Pakistan, and here you see all the different colors here. And now you all know very well what do these different colors represent. You can see that parts of the north are very high indeed. Here, it's the north. The parts of the north are very high. So, because this white color shows 5,000 meters above the land. So these white parts are very high. There are usually colored white in relief maps to show that for most of the year they are covered in snow. You can also see that large parts of the country are desert. What does this desert? Desert is actually represented by these dots. They are green in color, but they are represented by these dots. So you can see that a large part is covered by deserts and they are not good for farming. This area is not good for farming. In fact, only about 1/3 of Pakistan is suitable for farming and most of that needs irrigation. It needs irrigation and majority of Punjab is a very fertile area. You can easily see from here it's because there are rivers here. Much of the north and west of Pakistan consists of very high mountains. This is the north and west of Pakistan. This is Balochistan area. Here it's KPK and Gilgit-Baltistan and Jammu and Kashmir. So all this is, it has, most of it is, it consists of very high mountains. There are lower but very dry mountain ranges in the west, in the Balochistan side, and southwest in Balochistan. In the more sheltered valleys of this region, fruits such as apples, grapes, oranges, apricots are grown. So we all know that a lot of dry fruits come from Balochistan. In winters, you must have eaten dry fruits. So very good quality dry fruits actually come from Balochistan, and it's because there are dry fruits grown there as well, and there are fruits also such as apples, grapes, oranges, apricots, etc. The western area of Pakistan is fairly high land which gets very little rainfall. The western area is fairly high land and it gets very little rainfall. It is of little use for crop farming. People here often have herds of sheep and goats, and in the drier season have to travel long distances to find food for the animals. So it's not a grassy area. So people who are living here are mostly shepherds. They have sheep and goats, and to graze them, they have to travel towards the lower areas to find food. If we took a cross section of Pakistan along lines A to B and C to D, it would look like these drawings below. So this is the cross section. Hindu Kush Karakoram ranges, Potihar Plateau, Salt Range, Faisalabad, Indus Valley, C. A is Hindu Kush Karakoram ranges and A to B, and C to D is Toba Kakar range, Suleiman range, Indus Valley, Third Desert, etc. To understand these two drawings, we have to go back to the relief map of Pakistan. You can easily see there are two lines on the map. This is A to B and this is C to D. So actually that cross section shows the cross section of Pakistan in this way, line A to B, and in this way from C to D. So line A is starting from Hindu Kush Karakoram range and it's ending at Arabian Sea. Here it's the same, Hindu Kush Karakoram range, and then whatever is coming in the way they have labeled it, Faisalabad and the Indus Valley, and then the sea, the Karachi as well. And you can see that Karachi is majority of it is on the plains. Now line C to D here, it is starting from Toba Kakar and it is ending here in Punjab. So you can easily see the cross section, and it shows these mountains and then these hilly areas, and then there are plains, and then there is Third Desert. All right. In the south are the deserts of Sindh and Balochistan, the Third Desert which extends far into India. The Third Desert which extends far into India. Here it's India. In the north of both Pakistan and India are the greatest mountain ranges in the world. These are the Himalayas in the east, which merge into the Karakoram and Hindu Kush ranges in the west. The highest point is Mount Everest in Nepal. It is 8,848 meters high and is actually growing several centimeters a year because the Earth's crust is still moving. So this is a very interesting factor, that the mountain is growing. And this is your homework. You have to find it out, that how come a mountain can grow. But every year this is a fact that Mount Everest is becoming higher and higher. And how is this happening? You have to find it out. So let's discuss the question answers. Today we are going to end our lesson till this paragraph. Inshallah, the rest of the chapter we are going to read in the next video. So let's cover our question answers till this point. Okay, describe the weather of Deccan Plateau. It's easily mentioned here. You can find it out. That it is very warm and generally not very fertile for farming. And it is fairly dry part of subcontinent, and the rain it receives every year, it's 1500 millimeters. So that describes the weather of Deccan Plateau. Which mountain range lie in the north of Pakistan? The answer you can easily find out. Describe the height and location of Mount Everest. We have just discussed this. Why do you think does Pakistan western area have little crops? See this question. Why do you think does Pakistan's western area have little crops? The answer lies here in this paragraph. You can find it out easily. It's because It's a mountainous region, that is why. So with this, don't forget to watch the video that I have uploaded for you. It's about Bolan Pass and Khyber Pass, and it's about the neighboring countries of Pakistan as well. There is a map also. Don't forget to watch those videos. They will definitely clear your concept about whatever we have read today. Inshallah, I'll meet you in the next video with the rest of the chapter, and don't forget to attempt your question answers on loose sheets. See you next week. Thank you.